the topic is not very strictly applicable to only shoulder. It's about hip shoulder separation angle as a biomechanical factor, how it could be a injury risk factor, and what we can do about it. So the talk is not strictly about the shoulder. As we mentioned, it's as a part of the kinetic chain, how it's related to the hip. So again, the introduction about where I come from is the Center for Sports Science, which is the only ICC accredited lab in whole of Asia, certifying all the illegal biomechanics of fast bowlers. Also, we do a lot of work on injury prevention aspects in cricket fast bowlers, having a tie-up with recently have tied up with the Kerala Cricket Council as well as Tamil Nadu Cricket Council. We work on a lot of other sports also, Olympic sports, football, and we cater to a lot of sports organizations, and we work with a lot of other universities also. So it's a very happy occasion here. I thank Professor Mandeep, Dhillon and his wonderful team here at the WCSMC for having given us the chance here to present our topics. What I'll be presenting today is work of my team at the Biomechanics and Sports Science about this particular action. Shalini and Nimishant have made this presentation, and it's about the fast bowling action, and we know all that it has got different phases and conveniently divided, and we also know that bowling action has been classified starting from exemplary work by Mark Porter's Australia into different types, in fact 4 types. There may be some subtypes also: front on, side on, semi-open and mixed action. So with this introduction, we also go into the known risk factors for injury, and one such risk factors which is very prominently researched is the lateral trunk flexion. So bowlers with shoulder counter rotation tend to go for this shoulder. First thing I'll talk about is hip shoulder separation angle, because there are 2 slides here. I got a bit confused. So the hip shoulder separation angle, so it occurs from right from the back foot contact to the front foot contact, and this could cause trunk injury, is a known factor. So at the front foot contact, the trunk tends to reach maximum lateral flexion and hyperextension. And at this point also the ground reaction forces and the braking forces, all these forces are also experienced. But strictly we do not take these things into account when we are measuring the hip shoulder separation angle. The lateral trunk flexion, as we know, it's one of the more researched biomechanical variable. The bowlers with the increased shoulder counter rotation demonstrate hyperlordosis as well as laterally flexed posture at the front foot contact. What happens is compression of at the lateral flexion puts a lot of stress on the neural arch, and the high contralateral trunk flexion, then it can lead to stress at the pars interarticularis. This is a fact we all know, and various studies have uniformly accepted the normative range is somewhere around 30 degrees, and anything around 40 degrees or more of lateral trunk flexion is definitely going to prove a factor for spine injury. So this study was aiming to answer 2 questions. One is whether the hip shoulder separation angle, HSS, is important, and then is it there's a correlation between this and LTF, the lateral trunk flexion. I'll let you know at the end of the presentation why we wanted to look at the correlation between hip shoulder separation angle and the lateral trunk flexion. We had subjects of university fast bowlers who had no injuries recent or past, and playing and bowling constantly above 110 kilometers per hour minimum, and younger age group from 18 to 26 years. And we did that our 3D biomechanics lab with the standard retro marker set, reflective set with Vicon's cameras and Bonita cameras. Though we had force platform data, we didn't account for this purpose of the study. And also ball speed as a measure of performance, we did it with the handheld radar gun. So there is six deliveries, best of six deliveries were processed, and if there are marker losses, we excluded those deliveries. And the lateral trunk flexion was, we all know how to measure it. It's a peak sideward flexion of the trunk segment relative to the pelvis segment at the time of ball release. While there is the hip shoulder separation angle, we measured by comparing two vectors, one connecting the hips and the other connecting the shoulders. So the results are very crisp. Among the 10 bowlers, they had 7 of them had a history of lower back ache and injury in the past, not in the recent past. So the history of lower back ache, even when there is a past history, it correlates with the increased amount of lateral trunk flexion and hip shoulder separation angle. As we can see, the lower back injury history here, we had a positive and significant correlation with this lateral trunk flexion and hip shoulder separation angle. And there is also a correlation between the lateral trunk flexion and the hip shoulder separation angle, and the correlation was also significant. And surprisingly or not surprisingly, there was no correlation between ball speed with this lateral trunk flexion or hip shoulder separation angle. This also goes in accordance with our other friends' studies like Craig Ranson and Mark King. They have also demonstrated that there's no demonstrable correlation between increased ground reaction forces to ball speed. So basically, one doesn't need to bowl fast with a high trunk flexion. You don't need a high trunk lateral flexion. Rather than you don't need a high forces also, and it seems you don't need a high uh, uh, straight knee also. These three things we yesterday saw in our talks when Rene debunked the myths of fast bowling. So he debunked the myths about the fast bowling. You don't really require knee bracing and high ground reaction forces. So all these are not required. So this study adds to the fact, and it states that you don't require really high lateral trunk flexion or high shoulder separation angle, hip shoulder separation angle. So faster bowlers in the study are found to have higher hip shoulder separation angle. So the bowlers seem to produce torque and transfer energy from their lower body to the upper body, as Dr. Rajesh mentioned, by maximizing, among other things, this hip shoulder separation angle also. So this seems to result in faster deliveries, and this also can elevate the risk of injury. So the injured bowlers or bowlers with history of injury, they have higher hip shoulder separation angle from mainly from the back foot contact to the front foot contact in that phase. So coming to the correlation between the hip shoulder separation angle and the lateral trunk flexion, again I'll tell you why we measured this. Greater lateral trunk flexion equates to higher hip shoulder separation angle, and that in turn equates to higher risk of injury. So the take home message for SNCs and physios and other sports scientists here is that we can try to minimize the hip shoulder separation angle from back foot contact to front foot contact. In the morning, we heard from the great Irfan Pathan that you should not try to completely change your action, you should partially change the action. Probably where to change the action partially, the one answer could be the hip shoulder separation angle can be moderated at the BFC to CFC, FFC phase. So this will help you to align the hips and shoulders and avoid excessive shoulder counter rotation. That is the rationale behind doing these things. Whether we achieve it with technical corrections or we achieve it with SNC corrections is up to the team to analyze and decide as per the bowler's individual case. So the bowlers, if still want to use the increase the bowling speed, they can use the hip shoulder separation angle, but after the front foot comes into the contact. So that way the back foot would be off the ground and it may not have a very torsional effect on the spine. So we can reduce the lateral trunk flexion also, by the way. So the take-home message is there seems to be a very strong relationship between hip-shoulder separation angle, which is a proven injury risk factor to back injuries, and the lateral trunk flexion. The hip-shoulder separation angle, unfortunately, can be measured truly only in 3D biomechanics lab, like the one beautiful labs that recently is in TNPSU with my colleague Rajni and our lab, and of course many more labs are coming. I think Siranjeevi would be laughing happily. So we want to have more 3D labs, but it's going to be equipment and labor and cost intensive procedure. And but whereas the lateral trunk flexion, which equates or correlates well with this HSS, can be measured a little more easily with the nice small gadget like our GoPros and with free softwares like Kinovia. So what we suggest is that though the 3D analysis is the gold standard for biomechanical injury variables and performance variables, including the lateral trunk flexion as well as the hip shoulder separation angle. But at the field level, we still can probably use our simple 2D video cameras to our iPhone cameras to see the simple lateral trunk flexion and monitor the athletes, the players, bowlers especially. And if there is more trunk flexion, then it can be a very good screening method to take the people out and do the more analysis and corrective action. So that's the take home message. Hip shoulder separation angle is an injury risk factor. It correlates well with lateral trunk flexion. So that can be measured through 2D video analysis and screen them with 2D video analysis, and then if required and if possible, send them for the 3D analysis for further correction by coaching techniques or SNC. So that's the message from us. Thanks from our team at CSS.